What's up, guys? Eric Perry, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Monday, March 29th. Been on the water quite a bit, actually. In the new Camus. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. Got the CX21. We'll be doing a walkthrough video probably next week. Pretty well booked up this week and got a lot of doubles, and that's why I'm doing this on Monday. Got some doubles and full days, and just want to make sure that I've got time to actually shoot the video and get it edited and get it out to you guys. But a lot of really cool features on this boat, and I can't wait to share those with you. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 915.89, which puts us right around a foot high, maybe just a little bit shy of a foot high. Of course, still got gates open, still running water. Beaver's about, I think, 2 feet high, so they're running water out of Beaver. Bull Shoals, of course, being the bathtub of the chain of lakes, is now holding at about 11.5 feet high, and they're not releasing nearly as much water out of Bull Shoals. Sorry guys, it seems like a broken record every spring down there. Water temperature, we're kind of all over the map. It really depends on the water color. Everything, I'm in Kimberling today. The clearest water's down pretty close to the dam, but you've got some dirty water coming out of Long Creek that's staining that too. Really, the more stain you have, the higher your water temperature is. For the most part, we're right around 48, 49 in the clear water, low 50s to start the day in the dirty water. It's about 52, 53 here. It's about noon. So, you know, you're seeing anywhere from 49 to, I mean, I've seen up the Kings last week, I saw as high as 60 degrees. So anywhere from 50 to 60 degrees. Of course, that water up the Kings was really dirty. I mean, it was muddy brown. So you're getting that really dirty water, and you've got some, 60 degrees, and wouldn't surprise me that, if we have a few days of sun and warm temperatures, that water wouldn't get to 65 by the end of the week. But anyway, the fish are biting. We're catching a few. There are areas of the lake that are better than others. As a general rule, it seems like the dirty water is better than the clear water right now, just because it's warming up faster. The fish are less spooky in that water, and the fish are trying to move up and get ready to spawn. But the best way to know what's going on, what's happening, on a daily basis is become a pro member of Table Rock Fishing Intel. Join Table Rock Fishing Intel. You're going to get daily reports, weekly reports, a fishing forecast every week, feature videos. We've got some cool videos coming down the pipe right now. So best way to know what's going on, know before you go, is join Table Rock Fishing Intel, become a pro member. $45 a year. It's less than $1 a week, and it'll help you to catch more fish. Everything we're doing with all the guides and everything is just designed to help you catch more fish. So check out Table Rock Fishing Intel if you haven't done so already. Do the one-day membership, see if it's for you or not. If you dig it, cool. $45, runs year to year. You don't have to worry about it expiring at the end of the year. Join, see what's going on. But if you're coming down, say you want to fish the lower end of the lake, by far the lower end is the toughest end of the lake right now. Not exactly sure why that is. It seems like it's definitely the clearest water on the lake is down by the dam. Like I said, when you head towards Long Creek, you'll get into some dirtier water. Like around, even as far as Clevenger has some dirty water in it, and Big Cedar and Persimmon and all those, Brushy, those all have dirty water in it. But it really hasn't seemed to make those fish quite as aggressive as they are in some of the other areas where you've got dirty water. But if you're going to fish the lower end, a couple of things that are working. You definitely want to have a swim bait tied on. Start catching them on a swim bait. That's what we caught everything on here today. Been catching them on a swim bait, scrubbing it on the bottom on those gravel and rock mix points, mostly on the inside of the creeks and inside of the pockets where the fish are going to move up to spawn. That seems to be the best area. They're a little bit deeper down there where they're being clearer. They're 12 to about 20, whereas most of the lake they're about 8 to 12. Swim bait's definitely a good option. Pee-wee football jig's been working pretty good as well. Seems like those fish are those are the ones that are a little bit further along, a lot more smallmouth, and Kentucky's eating the pee-wee football jig, and most of those fish are actually inside the pockets, inside those spawning pockets. I don't think they're really cruising yet, but they're definitely staging inside those pockets. And again, those fish in that clear water are going to be a little bit deeper. They're going to be in that 12 to 20 foot range as opposed to being shallower like they are in the dirty water. Even in that dirty water up Long Creek, you get far enough up Long Creek, get into Arkansas, and things change. change. But if you're going to stay in Missouri, you know, a peewee football jig's been a good option. A swim bait's been a good option. If we get some warm water, especially up around the Arkansas line and above the Arkansas line, I would certainly throw a jewel gem blade up there as well, because they're starting to show up on a spinnerbait. They're starting to show up on a crankbait as well. So, you know, rock crawler, wiggle wart, curve 55, all those are working as well when you get in that dirtier, warmer water on those mixed rock and gravel points. Right now, the biggest thing I can tell you is the best bite all over the lake is where you've got rock and gravel mixed, not where you've got straight gravel or straight rock. So watch for that. Come up into the Kimberling City area where I am today. We definitely had a decent morning this morning, but it's kind of a feast and famine deal. It's you can find certain spots that are holding fish and you can do well, but you can't run a group of spots. You know, if you find some fish on a spot, you want to stay on it. You want to keep working those fish over, because you're not going to find them everywhere. Most of what we caught today were on secondary points, back in the creeks, you know, leading in the spawning pockets. Pretty much everything we caught was on a Kitech 2.8 on a 1/4 ounce head and scrubbing it on the bottom. Had a little bit of stain, so, you know, these fish were 8 to 12 foot deep. They moved out a little bit deeper as the sun came out. I think the deepest we caught one was about 15 foot deep, but definitely want to do that. And had a few on the main lake, a few bites on the main lake. Not nearly as impressive as it was back in the creek, so definitely want to have a swim bait tied on. Had a few bites on a jig. Peewee football jig is definitely going to be working. Pro spider jig is going to be working. Things are going to really start to kick off here in the next week or so if this weather can maintain and we can stay warm. But, you know, again, rock and gravel mix just inside these points leading the spawning pockets really seem to be the key areas to throw either a swim bait or peewee football jig or jewel pro spider jig. We get a little bit of wind, you get some dirtier water. I definitely could see them eating both the crankbait, you know, Spro rock crawler, wiggle wart, a curve 55, or the jewel gem blade, mostly around cover, around timber, that sort of thing. But really, even here, the water's stained, but it's not dirty enough that I feel super comfortable being able to throw a spinnerbait and catch them consistently here. Go up into the James, it's a different story. Definitely want to have a spinnerbait tied on up the James. You've got some dirtier water, you've got some warmer water, especially towards the backs of the creeks where you've got some timber in the water, some laydowns, that sort of thing. I would have a jewel gem blade tied on fish it shallow around the wooden cover. Again, look for that cover that's around spawning pockets, because those fish are going to be moving into spawn, so they're going to be holding tight to the spawning pockets. Would not be surprised to see them eating a square bill up there as well, throwing a square bill around that wood, around some of that shallow cover towards the backs of pockets or even the backs of creeks where you've got some wood and you've got some watercolor. Water's much warmer where you've got color, and I could see it in the afternoon hitting 55, 60 degrees pretty easy, and that would definitely be something I'd be throwing up that way. And then a jig. I'd be throwing a jewel pro spider jig a bunch, gravel and rock mix. Most of the fish are going to be less than 10 feet deep, so throw that jig around wooden cover, again, around any cover you can find, just inside the spawning pockets, even towards the backs of the spawning pockets if you're starting to see 60-degree water, because these fish will start to cruise and get really shallow once that water gets up to 60 degrees. White River, you know, the White River, it's parts of it are good, parts of it are not so good. Up around Shell Knob and above has been really strong. The water's got more color, it's warmer, the fish are relatively shallow. Caught them on a Jewel Pro spider jig up there last week in less than 10 foot of water. Heck, some of them less than 5 foot of water. Again, gravel and rock mixed. Caught them on a swim bait up there where the water is just stained, it's not dark. Seems like that area Shell Knob on up is a little bit stronger than the area down around Baxter to the confluence. You can catch them in that area, but you get more bites and you're catching more fish when you get from, really probably from Big Creek on up is really kind of the cutoff point where those fish are really starting to bite pretty well. But a swim bait, Jewel Pro spider jig, rock crawler, wiggle wart, curve 55, and then of course the gem blade. You get a windy day in that dirty water, especially in those spawning pockets or back towards the backs of those creeks. If you've got some wood cover, I would certainly throw a gem blade or maybe even a chatterbait around those areas, because these fish are going to be moving up, and when that water warms, they'll move up and start to feed before they move up and spawn. Guys, we are almost done with March. Favorite couple of months of the year coming up, April and May. That's historically speaking, our best fishing on Table Rock is April and May, so definitely these next 2 months are going to be Katie bar the door. We'll start, we'll catch them on a jig, shaky head, Ned rig's going to be key, swim bait, still going to catch them on that, and hopefully topwater fluke, all that stuff's going to be happening by the end of April. But the bite continues to get better every day, and it's going to get better. Again, best way to stay on top of that, know what's going on, know what you need to have tied on before you even come to the lake, is become a pro member of Table Rock Fishing Intel. Join up, watch those daily reports, weekly reports, watch all the information we've got on there. We got 10 guides that are submitting reports, so watch all that information, and then you'll know before you go what you need to have tied on. But if you're coming down and want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com. Shoot me an email, book online, however you want to do it. We'll get together, figure out dates and times, what works for you. We'll get on the water, we'll catch some fish, we'll have a good time. Guys, thanks for watching the video. Again, take a minute, check out Table Rock Fishing Intel if you haven't done so. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.